One of the first video game consoles was called the Brown Box. The idea for this video game console was thought up by Ralph Baer in August 1966, and over the next 3 years, he along with Bill Harrison and Bill Rush, created 7 successive prototype consoles. The 7th, known as the Brown Box, was shown to several manufacturers before Magnavox agreed to produce it in January 1971. The next console is the Fairchild Channel F, which was a home video game console released on November 1976 across North America. This game console was released by Fairchild Semiconductor. The Fairchild was actually one of the first consoles to use cartridges thanks to Wallace Kirshner and Lawrence Haskell. A few years later, the second handheld game console was released, the first being the Microvision released in 1979. That game console was the Nintendo's Game Boy released on April 21st of 1996 in Japan. It had graphics that were limited to shades of gray on a dull screen, though it was revolutionary back then. It even sold out of its initial run of 300,000 units at the price of 12,500 yen in Japan and $89.99 in America. After the Game Boy was released, Nintendo then released the N64. It was released on September 9, 1996 with the game Super Mario and Pilotwings. It costed around $199 in the US and had a slogan which was "Get in, or get out." One thing that was different about it was its controller. The controller was a rectangular shape at the top with 3 weird shapes going down from the right, left, and middle. There were some 5th generation consoles that weren't as good as their competitors. Those consoles would be the 3DO and the Atari Jaguar. The Atari Jaguar came out in 1994 and the 3DO was released in 1993. Both of these consoles had failed though, not getting a lot of popularity like the Sega or Nintendo consoles, even though they were better than the 4th generation consoles. After the 5th generation of consoles, we had the 6th generation. The 6th generation was the generation that had started to shift towards DVDs for video game media. The DVDs had given the manufacturers of consoles longer and visually appealing games, and it created hardened flash drive storage. An example of a DVD using console was the Sega Dreamcast. The Sega Dreamcast was released on November 30th, 1999, though the console was kind of a fail because it had tried to compete with other consoles like the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Gaming consoles have new features all the time, and they will still surprise us for years to come.